Hi, my name is Gloria Roberts. Today, we'll be looking at the topic formation of urine. Objectives of lesson. During the course of the lesson, the learners should be able to 1. Mention the organs of excretion in mammals. 2. Highlight the structure of the kidney. 3. Mention at least 2 functions of the kidney. 4. List the 3 processes involved in the formation of urine. 5. Mention what happens at each of the processes. And 6. Define osmoregulation. Now, have you ever wondered how urine are formed in the body? Stop wondering. Urine are formed by the kidneys. Now, the kidney is the main organ of excretion in the body, and it does this by forming urine. Urine is made up of several excretory waste products, such as excess water, iron, urea, salt, and so on. Now, the kidney is an excretory organ, which is reddish in color, and it's also bean-shaped. There are 2 kidneys in mammals, so we have the right kidney and the left kidney. Now, here is the longitudinal section of the kidney. So join me, let's study the structures together. The outer part of the kidney is called the cortex. The inner part is called the medulla. These two lead to a triangular shaped structure called the pyramid. The pyramid leads to the renal pelvis, simply called pelvis. Now, pelvis leads to the ureter, which is a tube that connects the kidney to the bladder. Now, we have 2 blood vessels here. We have the renal artery, which takes blood into the kidney. We have the renal vein, which takes blood out of the kidney. So take your time, study the image. You should be able to draw and label them properly. So let's look at the functions of the kidney. 3 functions are mentioned here. The first one is called osmoregulation. Now, the kidney helps animals regulate or balance the amount of water and salt in their bodies. So the process by which animals are able to regulate or balance the amount of water and salt in their body is called, osmoregulation. So when you have too much water in your body, your kidney will help you to remove excess. When there is too much salt in the body, the kidney will remove the excess through urine. Number 2 function is maintenance of acid-base balance. Now, the kidney excretes excess acid or base from the body. How does it do this? If the body's concentration of base is higher in the body than that of the acid, now more salt will be excreted through urine. And when low, more salt is reabsorbed back into the body through the bloodstream. Thus, acid-base balance is maintained. Number 3 function is excretion. We already know that excretion is the removal of metabolic waste products from the body of an organism. So when urine is formed, these metabolic products are there, and so they are able to be removed. So let's look at the formation of urine properly. The formation of urine occurs in the numerous urinary tubules or nephrons found inside the kidneys. Now, nephrons are said to be the functional units of the kidney. And we have millions of nephrons or urinary tubules inside the kidney. Now, here is the structure showing a nephron. Now, it starts with a glomerulus, which is fixed into the cup-shaped structure called the Bowman capsule. The Bowman capsule leads to the proximal convoluted tubule, which moves down through the helix loop, which is U-shaped, up to the distal convoluted tubule, and this end downward at the collecting dot. Now, we also have blood vessels surrounding the nephrons. So we have the renal artery, renal vein surrounding the nephron. Now, the 3 processes involved in the formation of urine are 1. Ultrafiltration, 2. Selective reabsorption, and 3. Hormonal secretion. So let's start by looking at ultrafiltration. Now, ultrafiltration, what is ultrafiltration? Easy. Now, ultrafiltration reminds me of a sieve. Now, in a sieve, you have beans, which are big materials, and we have rice, which are smaller materials. Now, when you shake the sieve, what happens? The rice will fall out, the beans will remain. So that process is just like ultrafiltration in the kidney. Now, this phase takes place at the Bowman capsule. The glomerulus is a network of arteries inside the cup-shaped structure called the Bowman capsule. Now, materials in the blood, that means materials in the glomerulus, they are filtered into the Bowman capsule, just like the sieve. Rice are filtered out of the sieve into wherever they want to go to. Okay, the small size material that enters the Bowman capsule, such as glucose, salt, water, ions, amino acid, and urea, they are all called glomerular filtrate. So let's study the image of ultrafiltration here. Now, the red structure represents the glomerulus. Inside the glomerulus, you have blood. Inside the blood, you have different material, the useful one, the big one, the small one, and the waste products, right? Now, materials from the glomerulus are able to filter out of the glomerulus into the Boma capsule, and that process is called ultrafiltration. So the material that filtered into the Boma capsule is what we call the glomerular filtrate. So the red color here represents the glomerulus, the gray color cup-like shape structure represents the Boma capsule, while the green color represents, the light green color represents the glomerular filtrate. So just go take time and go through it. Alright, let's talk about the second phase, selective reabsorption. Now, as the glomerular filtrate moves down the tubule, useful materials needed by the blood such as glucose, amino acid, and water are returned into the blood vessels surrounding the nephron. This is represented in this image as number 2. So as materials are moving down the tubule, don't forget the materials are called glomerular filtrate. Inside we still have some useful material that the body cannot afford to lose. So these materials are returned back into the body through the blood vessels surrounding the nephron. Don't forget we have renal artery, renal veins surrounding the nephron. So this useful material are returned back into it, and so that process is called selective reabsorption. Now the process is selective because only useful materials are reabsorbed back, while excreting waste product, that should be number 4 here from the image, excess water and salt, they remain in the tube and continue in the journey of urine formation. Now, selective reabsorption of glucose and water occurs at the proximal convoluted tubule, while salt and water is reabsorbed at the distal convoluted tubule. So take your time, study this. The first one, number 1, is showing material moving out of the glomerulus into the Boma capsule, that is ultrafiltration. Number 2 is showing material from the tubule going back into the bloodstream, that is showing selective reabsorption. Good, let's move on. Number 3 is hormonal secretion. This can also be referred to as tubular secretion. Now, as the filtrate moves through the Henle's tube or Henle's loop to the distal convoluted tubule, antidiuretic hormone, simply known as ADH, is secreted into it, which now allows more water to be reabsorbed back into the body. Also, tubular cells can secrete substances such as hydrogen ion, potassium ion, and so on into the filtrate. So don't forget that one of the material that are released out of the body by urine is ions. So these are released back at this point. So if you look at this image, that should be your number 3. Yes, so materials that have moved into the blood vessels, also material that are already inside the blood vessels such as iron, creatine, and other materials, ADH hormone, they are returned back into the tubule. So this is hormonal secretion. So by this process, the ionic, acid base, and the balance of other fluid, body fluid in the body are all maintained. So go to the image. Yeah. Now finally, urine is formed. So the secreted ion combined with the filtrate, everything, they form urine. So the filtrate left is concentrated and it enters into the collecting duct, which is connected to the pelvis of the kidney. Now the urine trickles into the pelvis, which is prepared by peristaltic movement. It then passes through the ureter into the urinary bladder. Now we have one bladder, only one bladder. Now in the bladder, the urine is stored temporarily, and when it is full, the bladder's muscle will contract, and so urine is discharged out of the body through the ureter. Good. All right, here is the structure showing the urinary system in mammal. We have the kidney, where the urine is formed, and from there the urine is moved into the pelvis. Don't forget its funnel shaped structure, and from there it passes through the ureter, which is a tube connecting the kidney to the bladder. From there urine trickles into the bladder, where it is stored for a while, and then when the person is pressed, it passes through the urethra out of the body. So here is someone that is letting it go. There is something this person is doing wrong. Can you guess? Yes, he's doing what we call environmental pollution. Please don't urinate on the ground. Do it properly in a toilet. So this is someone letting it go, urinating. Okay, so let's move on. When the concentration of materials such as excess sugar, mineral salt, amino acid, fatty acid, and glycolic in the body, they are higher than that of the cell content, the kidney extract or remove these excess substances from the blood so as to maintain normal osmotic balance in the body. So the regulation of the body to balance these materials in the body is known as homeostasis. What this is simply saying is that in the body we have different materials as mentioned here, sugar, mineral salt, and so on. Now this material must be at a normal level in the body. normal quantity. They shouldn't be too high or too low. So when they are higher than normal or lower than normal, the body look for a way to remove the excess or to take in more if they are lower. Okay, and kidney is one of the organs that helps in doing that, and the process by which this is done in order to maintain the normal balance of all this material in the body is called homeostasis. All right, I want to believe you understand. Please go through if you don't again understand it. Here is our student activity. It's time for you to answer this question to actually know how much you understood the topic. So just sit through it and answer. Okay, if you're not able to answer it all at the first try, don't bother. Go back to the video, watch it again, play it again, and I believe at the end you'll be able to answer all the questions and even more. Okay, here are the answers to the student activity. It's time for you to mark yourself. Like I will always say, 100% is our target. Hope you have 100%. Okay, at this time I want to please ask you to subscribe if you have not. Yes, watch the video, view it, click the notification bell, and any other thing you can do to promote this channel. The main reason for this channel is for students to understand biology properly. Okay, at this time I want to say thanks for joining me in this class. Thanks for learning. Have a wonderful time.